And with that, welcome back to the next stream. So we are in Sao Paulo, and let's do that with live weather. Welcome back and forward, gode vi. Yes.
Hello, black box.
Well, not there. Gode vi. Didn't see this coming. Yeah, right. So live weather it is. Is that beautiful? Gorgeous. Hey, hey, Brennald, welcome back. So just make sure we're on live time and live weather. How cool is that? And then I just start one more thing here. Sim Toolkit Pro. I'm already live on VATSIM. So just going to make sure, let's check that we have maybe someone flying along. Yeah, forward, just very busy flying. Apart from that, I am doing well. Thanks for asking. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so what's the challenge? Well, the challenge is I'll show you that on the EFB here. So Rio Santos Dumont has a very short runway for landing. So it doesn't matter which approach you really fly, north or south. You are going to be faced with the issue that it's a very short runway. Look at that, 1,300 meters. So you don't have much time to flare, and there's not much wheel room. So that's the first thing. Another thing is the approaches. So since the location of the airport is so kind of tucked in, you're always going to have some sort of interesting RMP or visual approach. And today's challenge is the RMP Yankee 20 left. So by the right route we fly over the airport, and then we go in circle to land on 20 left, which should be good because as far as I saw from the last wind info, that's the arrival route, by the way. So the last wind info that I did see was southerly winds today. So that's actually quite nice that we have live weather with, yeah, there we go, 160 at 10. So that's definitely going to be the 20 left approach. 24 degrees, beautiful weather. Here in Sao Paulo, it's Cabo K, 24 degrees, 1022, which I will set straight away into the FCU here. Switch on the flight directors. So let's program quickly the MCDU. Brennell says they usually have southerly winds in the evenings. Okay. I know that normally we want to fly the other approach right over the city, and we've done that several times. So today will be, I think, the first time that we're going to fly the other direction. So that should be interesting. So 12, the cost next cruising level 270, I think. Yeah, 270. It's only half an hour or 35-minute flight time, thereabouts. So it's a short flight. Currently we've got 24 degrees here. We have already our final figures. We're already completely loaded. So here's the load sheet, 58.6. With as a G of 27.4, and the block fuel is 5.9. You wonder why they never extended the runway? That's a good question. I guess too expensive to do that. But I mean, they still land with what, 320s there, don't they? IRL, so they probably say it's not needed. So the auto is back here in Sao Paulo. So 2 tons of extra fuel. Interesting. All right. There we go. So a little bit extra fuel in case of one go around. That's what we have. that's all done. Wind data is in as well. So departure here is going to be runway 28. So 28, where are we located? Okay, so forward says the Sugarloaf Mountain and the bridge are in the way for an extension. Yeah, it could be the case as well. Yeah. Oh, I blame them. So let's check here. Currently, we are not here. Where are we? Here. Brennell, the last flight did touch and go. Did not recognize this deactivated brake and then oh really? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so Brennell, normally what we would do, Brennell, and that's a good topic. So normally when you go missed approach, so you go around, you normally prepare the approach again, make sure the FMS is set up correctly, and then you read the approach checklist again. And in the approach checklist, you will have the auto brake setting as well. And exactly for that reason, yeah. So we'll take 28 right. So 28 right, and the departure route is going to be Ekopa departure. So let's have a look here. Ekopa. Oh, that's interesting. Let me. What's the wind again? What was the wind? Maybe we could take. All right, disregard. We'll take 10 left. We are. So we don't have control here. We'll take 10 left. That's fine. So we'll take the Ekopa 1 Alpha departure. So that's the one we'd take. And 100 above, 130 above. So let's go 130 first of all. That's the first altitude. There we go. Does the A320 also have the sticking point at around 10 degrees rotation where the elevator doesn't have much leverage because of the ground effect? No. No. Not really. I don't really... I know what you mean, but I've never noticed that anything unusual in the A320. Oops. Let's try that again. And then departing via Nibru. There we go. So Nibru, and then the arrival route into Santos Dumont. We did say we want to fly the 20 left Yankee. Let's have a look. Let's scroll down until we find the Yankee 20 left. There it is. And it's going to be a Lhasa 1 Alpha arrival, and the transition is going to be via Kebum. Insert. If you do a full manual braking, will this destroy? No, not really, Brennell. It will definitely heat up your brakes depending on your weight, but your tires will not be damaged. I mean, you have the anti-skid still working, so that's why there shouldn't be a reason that it destroys the tires. So we'll come back, if anything goes wrong on takeoff, we'll come back here and we'll fly the ILS 28 right in this case. No start, no via. Cool. AB fuel Ratnaf. Let's leave that. Performance for takeoff. Well, no, the thing that would burning, so Brendel high-speed RTO, I mean, that's very heavy weight, isn't it, on takeoff, first of all. And then the other, oh, look at that, still got 09, that's interesting. The other thing is that what's burning are the brake discs, and maybe some grease or something, and that heats up the tires. And then at some point, yeah, the tires have... well, normally the fuse, they have fuse plugs. And that means when they reach a certain temperature, let's say 800 degrees, those plugs will melt and then let off the air. And the outflowing air will actually cool the brakes. Let's do full length, then calculate. Hey Nicolas, how you doing? What would be the worst nightmare? Yeah, so Nicolas, have you seen the last Mentor Pilot video on the MD-83 or MD-82 from Alaska Airlines that that had a mechanical failure of the stabilizer and that caused them to crash? I mean, sure, that's an absolute nightmare. I mean, luckily that is so remote to happen, but you know, something along those lines definitely would be a nightmare. So anything that causes you to lose control of the aircraft, unable to do anything about it, yeah, sure. I definitely would not like to have that happen. A malfunctioned coffee machine. Well, that's also bad. Absolutely. That's really bad already, yeah. So there we go. I think we've pretty much set up everything. And we'll do this now, this time without the FS2 crew. So let me just get my controls set up for that. There it is. There it is. Cool. So quick briefing, departing 10 left on the departure route, Ecopa 1 Alpha departure 130. Sector altitude is 5,200 feet. Extra fuel for Rio is 1.2 tons, about half an hour. That's good for one missed approach. Taxi out, fairly straightforward, nothing really complicated here. No hot spots. We'll taxi out to the holding point. Hotel Bravo holding point. Takeoff, engine failure straight out. Acceleration is going to be in 4,000 feet. And then we clean up, climb 5,000, return. Actually, we could do a 28 right approach here for the return. Yeah, there we go. Nothing special, threats, not really, so that is fine. Hey Jeremiah. Yeah, so yeah, Brennell said he doesn't have to work tomorrow, so I didn't think I was so hard pressed on time. So apologize that the Norway trip will be a little bit later than expected. Brennell, I need to let me have a look. What flights are we doing today? So 2 flights. I'll just check this. Norway tour details. So we have, how many legs? We've got 5 more legs. So we can do 3. Yeah, we'll do 3 today. So we're going to fly all the way to Kirkenes, all right? Yeah, 3. Yeah, I agree. That's fine. Beautiful sunrise here. No, Jeremiah, the last 2 are fairly, or at least the second last is very long. Now I've got to go and back to Frankfurt tomorrow. So there we go. That goes on. That goes off. Those will all go on. That looks good. That looks fine. That looks alright. Cool. Yeah, cool. Let's get rid of the ground power, etc. What would be the best tip you can give to people who are just starting their training? Nicolas, you mean real world training? Well, I don't really have to say this because you'll know it. I mean, give it your best shot, right? So somebody said it, don't half-ass it, all right? Make sure you do your best, because only then, if there's any issues, which I don't think there will be. But if there's any issues, then at least you didn't half-ass it, as to say you didn't. You went out there and did your best. That's the important thing. Then don't get worked up. Don't get demoralized by situations where you feel you're not performing your best, or you're not performing according to your own standards, or even if the instructor says at some point this has to improve, you've got some weak areas. I mean, everyone will have some issues at some point, so don't worry about it too much. Try your best, keep your head up. What's happening now? Boarding truck, what, hang on. Dismiss GPU, there we go. When do you have to get? No, I'm flying tomorrow evening. So late afternoon, I'm flying to Frankfurt, Ronald. So I don't have to get up early tomorrow, but I have to go to Frankfurt tomorrow. Yeah, Nicolas, there's going to be some topics which you really like, and then there's going to be topics which you don't like. That's completely normal. And again, you can't always, you can't always. I mean, I don't know anyone who has aced everything. So there's always going to be good days, and there's going to be bad days. I don't disclose what airline I work for because for advertisement reasons, if you like. So I don't want to get in trouble for advertising. Secretly, if you like. We'll use nose right, tail left. That's a nice animation. Beautiful. Of course. Convincing push. It does sound. I was going to say Portuguese. So we have Portuguese slang down here. So let's do that. Engine 2 start. I love the heat blur, really nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Right, starting engine 1. Well, it depends on your system. So I put my render displays on the internal mainboard UHD graphics chip. But again, if you CPU, well, I don't think it should be on CPU because CPU quite often is already struggling, and the GPU, well, it depends again. If your GPU is strong enough. Exactly. So Lima Echo is right with that. So you can try different settings and check the FPS. Yeah, I don't know. I that's a tough one. With that system, I would say, to be honest, I would try, if you have on your main board, and you can set that in the BIOS, if you can set the onboard graphics chip to on, and then select the the FENIX rendering on the main board. Yeah, we're on lifetime. Yeah. Oh, look at that gold 737, beautiful. Hello, hello. So let's do flight controls. Actually, let's do the after start flows first of all. Test, 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 test. Just need to fix my flap lever here. There it is. Thank you much. Take disconnect, bouncing on. Flight controls, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral rudder, full left, full right, neutral. After start checklist. Actually, did we have any checklists up to now? Did everything by heart, didn't I? Test, 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 test. Right. So let's do the before start. First of all, parking brakes off or set now. Takeoff speeds, thrust 135, 140, 140, flex 64, windows, closed, 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 closed. Beacon was on. And then we've got the after start checklist. Anti-ice is off, ecam status is checked. Pitch trim should be on 25.8. Let's check that. 25.8, so about up 0.2. Yeah, that's fine. And rudder trim is neutral. That's the after start checklist completed. Brakes off. Sao Paulo traffic, Avianca 71 Bravo is taxiing active 10 left in Sao Paulo. Brake check. Pressure 0. Let's try that again. Yeah, pressure 0. Cabin is all ready, so we'll do the taxi checklist. Flight controls checked. Flap setting config 1+. F radar predictor system on and auto. Engine mode selector normal. EK memo takeoff no blue, and that's the taxi checklist completed.
Sao Paulo traffic temp 3366 taxiing on Yankee, holding short of Gulf to join up behind the Avianca.
It's very kind, thank you much. Avianca 71 Bravo. Cool, nice, got some people flying along, fantastic. So we go straight out, that brings us to the threshold there. What a beautiful lift.
Call 1262, taking all 10-0 left.
Have a good flight. One thing I've noticed again today, I've not changed anything with the drivers. There was a lot of traffic in Vienna with that sim, and performance today is absolutely brilliant. I have no issues whatsoever. Everything's really smooth. Everything's crisp, really nice. What do you think about Ivea? I haven't tried Ivea for a long, long time. A couple of years ago when I tried it, I just felt the speech, so the frequencies, they always sounded too clear. I always had a feeling the controller was sitting right next to me at my desk. So VATSIM for me is still the way to go. Sao Paulo traffic, Avianca 71 Bravo lining up runway 10 left in Sao Paulo. That's interesting. It says 09. Is it 09 or 10 left? On the charts it said 10 left, so yeah, so they must have changed at some point. Yeah, maybe recently. Now they got radio fix. Yeah, but how busy are they? I have no idea how busy they are, and you know how many, because VATSIM has lots of events, and I don't know what it is. I have a feeling it's getting darker instead of lighter. What's happening to the sun? No, it is rising, isn't it? Avaya has new service and voice income. It's much better audio now. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Huh? It's evening in Rio? What? Hang on. I'm confused now. What? What time is it there? Yeah, okay, it's winter there. Okay, maybe that's the reason. Yeah, but like 5 in the evening, it's getting dark. Well, it's evening there as well now. Yeah, I always expect like bright daylight. Sao Paulo traffic, Avianca 7 more Bravo departing, 10 left. Here we go. Yeah, I could do this, hold on. This, and now it's crisp again. Take off. So we got Manflex 64, SAS runway, auto thrust blue. Start that and that. Thrust set. Hey, hang on. 100 knots. V1. Rotate. Pause climb. Europe. Look, if I look outside, it's still fairly light where I live. It's what 20 past 10 in the evening. Yeah, so my brain was like, well, if it's still light here, it's got to be light in Sao Paulo. Autopilot 1. Let's go outside. Well, no, look, the sun is rising. You see? I was correct. Look, the sun is rising, I'm telling you. I'll show you. So we've got thrust climb out magenta, 10,000. There seems to be a 10,000 foot restriction somewhere. Look, you non-believers. Look, it's rising. You see? Flap 0. No, Brenner, look. Look at the sun now, alright? Hey, Swiss Donut. So look at the sun now. We'll come back in a few seconds, or a few minutes. It's because I'm climbing? Really? No. So Maurizio says the light is correct here in Brazil South. Okay, cool. Okay, thanks a lot. So what's the transition? 8,000. Yeah, we'll do that in a minute, Reynolds. Yeah. So there we go, setting standard, cross-checked, passing, 81 checked. So it's 100 below there and 130 below there. Beautiful. So now I've got thrust climb, up blue 130. And if I turn that up higher, it'll go magenta 130 again. There we go. So we'll go 270, final level. Manage climb, so up magenta 130. Air Kibris, hey, how you doing? Beautiful. Bootiful, as Mark would say. Right, out of level 100, let's turn all the lights off. Quick service. And secondary copy active, flight plan page, rat nav page, all good. There you go. Yeah, so SimFan, on my last stream, so the first stream today, I used FS2 Crew. And Hawkey, how you doing? Nice to see you, Hawkey. So we've got alt constraint, climb blue, waiting to pass that next waypoint for the further climb. And I can already set orbit to medium. And this will tell me that we can't land at Santos Dumont, so we're going to be burning another ton of fuel, so 62.8. Brake dry. We'll use orbit medium, max reverse, and runway is going to be 20 left. So there we go. So factored landing distance, orbit medium, max reverse is 1641. So legally, well, this wouldn't be legal to land there in this configuration, quite simply speaking. So if we use max manual brake, we're just within limits. Yes, FI, exactly. So normally what we do as a practice, we always go manage climb, manage descend. If, for example, like in the UK, you get a clearance, climb now, flight level so-and-so, we go open climb. Because an open climb, it'll disregard the altitude restrictions. Yeah, so Gabriel, welcome. Yeah, we're doing the very interesting Yankee approach, runway 20 left. And it'll be interesting to see how the FENIX copes with that. So we're flying this arrival route via Kebun, Alazu, Gelut, and then we fly from Gelut. We fly this approach, including the profile. Is it really? It's brighter. Okay, well maybe the camera. So the problem is with videos or live streams is that the camera often adjusts automatically for poor lighting. So that's why it may seem a bit brighter on screen. Over the Rio Niterói, how do you pronounce it? Niterói? There's the coastline. Beautiful. Gorgeous. So climb out blue 270. Let's do this to... Actually, no, let's leave that on above. That's fine. So again, I mean, the real pilots here in the real aircraft, they will very likely even be able to not grease it, but still do a nice landing. Today for us, even if you do a good solid landing, in a sense it's not a hard landing, but I mean our landing tool thingy here will tell me that I've landed with, like, I don't know, 400 feet per minute or something. So not much of a flare. It won't be a carrier landing, but again, it'll be a positive landing because we don't have the luxury today to flare. No, so Brennan, unfortunately, the whole RNAV RMP thing is somewhat complicated. So the first thing is that this approach is its authorization required. So there's, when you see this, there's certain things the aircraft has to have, the crew has to be certified. So for example, it says here, special aircraft and air crew authorization required. So special training, maybe you will have to have landed there with an instructor before you're allowed to fly there on your own. Radius to fix is required. So these are radius to fix arcs. So your FMS needs, and your autopilot system needs to be able to fly this. And then the LNAV, VNAV minimum is within a temperature range of 10 to 45 degrees. So when the temperature goes outside, you cannot use LNAV, VNAV minimum, i.e. then you can't use the final approach mode. Hopefully, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, hopefully we don't get the FENIX bounce. Yeah. So, Brennelt, if there's no issues temperature-wise, and if it's an LNAV, VNAV minimum that's being published, then you can use the final approach mode. All right. So here, it's obviously coded in a way that you can only fly this in final approach mode. So you can't fly this in a nav and a flight path angle mode, for example. But that would be told you that you were told that in the training or in the in documents somewhere. Someone posted a clip yesterday, FENIX landing all looked smooth until the plane suddenly flipped on the runway. Yeah, maybe that's a ground texture issue or something. Yeah, sometimes, Brennel, sometimes you have an approach where you only have LNAV minimum, maybe. You don't have LNAV, VNAV minimum posted anywhere. And then you know that also you can't use final approach mode. But I mean, for flight simmers, you'd say that literally there's very few cases where you can't use final approach mode. Mark vertical speed. Yeah, and also, I mean, if they're flying there in real life with the 320s, I'm pretty sure they have a special procedure, and they will probably always calculate with max manual landing. And again, you know, 1,300 meters is just not a lot. And I am surprised they still fly this with the 320s. The reason is that on both sides there's water. So if you know, there's always cases where, you know, you have a long flare at start, or the brakes. Well, the brakes normally work the way they should. The same with the tires, etc. So, I mean, the braking force will be there. But let's say it's raining, all right? So you got runway. That already changes things. With RP, you have to set altitudes to hit. What am I actually? What do you mean for the descent, Tony? Yeah. So what I normally do is, if you clear the approach, or if you clear yourself here the approach, what I would normally do is I would set the final approach point altitude in the FCU. So 2,000 feet is what I would set. And normally you can press the approach button to get final approach mode when you inbound to a waypoint, whereafter you have a gradient programmed in the FMS. So let's have a look. So if we go through the arrival, and we're already at the top descent here, are we? Yeah. So let's go down. So we're going to go down to 80 initially with managed descent. So we've got thrust idle descent out blue, 80. So let's look again at the MCDU. Yeah. So here we go. So here's the first gradient after Romeo Juliet 131. Where is that? There we go. So yeah, so that's the final approach point, actually, the FAP. So final approach point is that there. So since you don't have a gradient programmed in the MCDU on this leg from 132 to 131, you cannot fly this in final approach mode. So you have to wait until you hit, or you inbound to the final approach point, and then press the approach button. No, so what you should not do, you should not change coded path and coded altitudes really here in the MCD. You shouldn't change that unless it's wrong. And you're not allowed to change anything beyond the final approach point. All right, so it's forbidden after the final approach point, and you shouldn't really do anything else if you have all these constraints programmed, unless these constraints are wrong. Is it really? So 380, 319, okay. 737 800 land there, blimey. So let's have a look how high. We're 1,000 feet too high. So yeah, once I said 110, that's 10,000 feet to go. So I'm going to bring out some speed brakes. Beautiful. What a beautiful country. So then we're going to go next phase QNH. So let me get the weather here, actually. So let's do this. So we've got 231019. And the minimum was 320, I think, if I remember correctly. Let's check that. 310 actually. And there's no need, really, there's no need to change anything. What you're supposed to do is check all the restrictions. So when you go and, let me just get the charts here next to it. So let me call up Sim Toolkit Pro, and then I'll go and do this. So inbound. So the first restriction is 307 between 90 and 110. That's correct. Then we've got the next one at 80 by Romeo Juliet 308. At correct. Then Alazu at 7000. Correct. Gaylord at 6000. Correct. So the transition is in 80, as a matter of fact. And then the next one is going to be on the arrival then, sorry, on the final approach. So we'll do Yankee, where is it? 20 left. There's so many approaches here. There it is. So, and then we check 132, 2200. And then we go to the next one, final approach point, 131 at 2000, 3-degree profile, correct. And all the way to the runway, 906, well, actually, it's a missed approach point. Beyond that, minus 3 degrees, and then a missed approach goes 907, 908, 909. And then we go Utgax. Then we go Romeo Juliet 249, and then we go to Evrier 5500 mandatory. That's all correctly programmed. There we go. So we're now on the path. And again, we'll just follow that in. So what we'll do now is we're going to dial in 6000. So it's going to go all the way, and it will follow the, or it will maintain the restrictions. What do you mean? No, so Swiss Tony, you can set the go around altitude once you're on final approach mode. All right, so once you have final up on here, then you can set the missed approach altitude, not prior. Same with the ILS. So only when you have glide slope localizer, then hey mathematics, then you can set the missed approach altitude. Because otherwise, if it's not in that mode, final approach or ILS glide slope localizer mode, it will level off. But it's not mandatory though, Reynold. That's minimum. All right. So that's a minimum altitude regarding obstacle clearance, most likely. It can be airspace limited, but normally that's that's not at. If it were at, you would have these top and bottom lines on it, like on this star here. So these are at 6,000, at 7,000, at 80. But on the arrival, that's at or above. And then on the here, quite often, what you'll see is quite often it will say mandatory at final approach point altitude. Yeah, so that normally, and for us, it always says that for the final descent, so from the final approach point onwards, you have to have that final approach altitude from which you will intercept the final path. Just to make sure you don't do anything, or the autopilot doesn't do anything crazy. Oh, probably Bob. Oh yeah, probably. Remember the British Airways guys going to New York? and the British Airways guys goes descending such and such, and with information, pardon the expression, Yankee. Yeah, so for me, I don't normally. Yeah, it's bold, so that's. Does it mean on Jeppesen charts? Does that mean it's mandatory? Because I don't use Jeppesen charts. SimFan, I don't know, Boeing is a different matter. So Boeing, I think the Boeing guys on the RMP approaches, they dial in the minimum, right? So let's say it's 300 feet, they will dial in 300 feet on the FCU. Southwest dials in the field elevation. Okay, interesting. On these RMP approaches. Okay. Sometimes dial in 0. Okay, so Boeing is completely a different matter. So can't really comment on that. Good. So we are going down. Here's 80 there, so we have to maintain the standard setting until we pass the next waypoint. So here we got 80, so we don't change the standard setting yet to QNH. Oh, well, that's a long time ago, Hawkeye. And back then, when I flew the 747, we didn't have RNF approaches. Okay, it's FR Wave. Thanks, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. So, here we go. Rio coming up. So the airport should be behind that ridge there. And let's put terrain on nav display. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of things are confusing. It's 10 miles ahead of me. That's good. Yeah, but Swiss Tony, like I said, I can only really say anything, you know, decisive about Airbus procedures. I don't fly the Boeing, at least not at the moment, so I can't say anything specific about Boeing procedures. What if sometimes cabin crew treat the ground handler as something below them? Once I was dispatched on a flight and the Lotus fainted, I rushed to cabin crew for some... What? Well, I'll tell you what, Gigi. If any of my cabin crew would deny a request from a ground personnel for some water, I will definitely have a strict word with them, because that's obviously an absolute no-go. And to me, I've never, well, if I witness anything where a cabin crew member or even a pilot, my co-pilot, would treat someone disrespectfully, I will have a talk with them. Oh. Ooh, lag there. Blimey. Guess it's the scenery loading in. So there we go, 7,000, Alt Magenta 7,000, then we go 6,000, and from Gelut we do the approach. So here we go. And is there any speed restrictions? Mandatory 6,000. Alright, so we managed to speed ourselves. Yeah, Bob, exactly. Absolutely, Tony. Yeah, I mean... I'm actually, you know, Gigi, I'm actually shocked to hear that. Yeah, that someone would react that way. Okay, so once we passed Gelut, I will put in the final approach altitude, so 2,000 feet. And again, we're going to fly this managed. So all of these restrictions, we've checked them. They are in place. All right, so... Actually, hang on. Where's my waypoints? Hold on. I did put cable in transition, right? So it denied me Potkey. Where's Potkey? Potkey, RJ133. And 133 and then 132. I don't know why that wasn't in. So then Potkey, we have 5,000. No, hang on, sorry. Potkey was 4,400 at... So I'm going to put 2,000 managed descent. And then we've got 3,500 there. Alright, there we go. Now we're in business. Ah, beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, you can see the restrictions, obviously, because of terrain. Look at that. That's amazing. Yeah, Brennel, you have to, if there's no speed restrictions, yeah, you have to manage speed yourself. So that's why I'm going to start slowing down here with selected speed. Or, what helps as well is go activate the approach phase. So now we've got the nice VDEF bar already. That's incredible. Look at the view. Wow. Santos Dumont traffic. Avianca 71 Bravo is approaching Romeo Juliet 133 for the Yankee 20 left approach. So flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1, slowing down further. But I would definitely recommend selected speed here. Yeah, and then here, it's only 2,000 feet there, so gear down, make sure you configure final configuration. Actually, I'm going to configure prior to that turn off. So here comes flaps 2, speed checked, flaps 2. 160 knots. So got descent out magenta, still 3,500 there as a restriction. There's the Sugarloaf Mountain there, crystal statue there. Absolutely incredible, lovely. Full confidence, yeah, me too. James. Yeah, so James, thanks for the feedback, James. That's good to hear. Like I said, again. It's a basic behavioral, at least expectation for me, to treat your fellow human beings respectful. As long as you're being treated respectfully, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't treat anyone else, you know, in a full respective manner. So he looks a bit high there. What is he doing? Put these on already. Yeah, the view's amazing. Let me go outside view here. Look at that. Wow. I love the scenery. So the scenery is so good. Look at all the buildings, and still the performance is really nice. Incredible. Here comes the gear. And there's the airport. Speed going managed. Flaps 3, speed check, flaps 3. It is payware. It's I can tell you that the name later. So we're still not quite inbound to the final approach point yet. Flaps full. 2,500. It's checked. With the rocket science. Yeah, alright, yeah, I admit that. Oh, look at the views here. Statue there. Right, I've got to concentrate on flying as well. So, almost there. So we're reaching 2,000 feet with final configuration already. That's fine. So once we pass the next waypoint, I'm going to hit the approach button. There we go. Bam. Approach. Final approach. And then we just watch and monitor, make sure that the aircraft perform. And now
1262 vacated from runway 20.
So now we put in the missed approach altitude. So 5.5 that was. 5,500 mandatory. Right, I'm going to put 5,500 in there. So missed approach 5,500 is set. So one thing I should have put in already, which I'll do now, is the runway identifier 20 left. So I have a indication regarding the distance threshold. Look at that. No, you can't. So normally you can't find these distances. Look at that. Continuous turn. So this distance becomes relevant once we're inbound on the final leg here. So landing checklist, ECMIM or landing no blue, landing checklist complete. Did we do the approach checklist? No, we didn't, did we? Approach checklist, bar ref is 1019.
1,000.
It's checked. Seatbelts are on. Minimum 310 feet. Auto brake is medium. Auto engine mode is like a normal. Right, let's look out for the PARPs. So we are 2 miles. We should be 600 feet, so slightly high. No, there we go. Look at that. 1 red, 3 white. We're coming into the path. I'm going to set the thrust levers manual. Getting ready. Oh, that's just gorgeous. I'm going to put the flight director off. Bird on. Perfect.
500.
Bit slow. Manual flight. Wind slightly from the left. Now let's try to get the PARPs right. So again, we don't want to be high. We don't have much wiggle room.
Minimum.
Continue. There we go, on path.
200.
Oh, so slightly high.
$100. 50, 430, 20. Retard.
Come on. That's pretty good. Manual brakes. Come on, give me reverse. No reverse. Don't know why. So spoilers, max manual braking. And there we go. Easy. Happy well. Well, I say easy, but I do find that exciting.
That's how pros do it.
But I have to say, I am deeply impressed when I see a flight simulator fly a programmed vertical and lateral path in a fully managed mode, and it does that perfectly. That is really impressive. Santos Dumont traffic, Avianca 71 Bravo vacated 20 left. Well, I mean, the thing is, guys, so the aircraft, the autopilot, literally did everything automatically until I took over manually. So, and with the Airbus, everything's trimmed. It's very convenient. So, and then what really matters in the end, then, is of course you come to stable final, and then from there make sure you just keep everything stable, nice, on path. Whenever you have some deviation from the vertical path, make sure you correct that quickly. After landing checklist, radar prediction system is off. Right, we've got someone else coming in. He's in the turn, so we'll watch us landing. Let me park here. Yeah, we're going to do that with 737 as well. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. I agree. Will be interesting to see. Yeah, Gabrielle, I mean, hats off. So we're doing that with, I was going to ask for guidance regarding.
Good night, Black Box.
So let's do it here. Good night to Voyager. Mach's gut. Ja. Bis nächste Woche. Bleib gesund. Gute Nacht. So GPU connected. Ah, there we go. Short final. All right. Let's see how he does. Ah, beautiful lineup. Very nice. Bob, yeah, thanks for being here. Lovely to see you again, Bob. Lovely. Ah, that looks very good. Nice and stable. Now it all comes down to the flare. Nice pause touchdown. Get the nose wheel down. And then brake. Yeah, GG. Well done. Yeah, nicely done too. Excellent. Oh, he's even taking this one here. So what are our brake temperatures saying, actually? Just wondering. 225. Ah, no, that's not realistic. No. Normally, your brakes with 63 tons, they will be 500 degrees already. Right. Good. So quickly, let's do the parking checklist, and then we have one more flight to do in the Cessna 414 on the Norway tour. So we got parking checklist. Parking brake or chocks. Parking brake is set. Engines off. Wing lights off, and the fuel pumps off, and that's the parking checklist completed. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, thanks, Brennan, for the lovely challenge. And again, guys, if you don't have the scenery is from Ricardo, and he made the scenery for P3D, and that there was already absolutely amazing. And here, Santos, hello. Yeah, Gabriel, thanks for all the infos. Now, look at the scenery. So look at all of the handcrafted buildings. Yeah, they do a lot of good sceneries. Yeah, I agree. So let's zoom. Let's have a look for this statue there. So he's modeled so much stuff here. It's a lot of work, yeah. So this scenery I can definitely recommend because it's nicely done, nicely modeled, and the approaches here. It doesn't matter which runway. Yeah, Paolo Ricardo. Thank you, forward. Yeah, that's it. So Paolo Ricardo made the scenery, and you know, top notch. This will be definitely within my top 5 airports to get. I mean, just look. Absolutely amazing. So imagine you're standing here, looking over. You can hear the birds chirping. So imagine you stand there looking over the city. Incredible. No, I've not seen that, Bob. No. Yeah, Lewis said thanks. Yeah, Paolo Ricardo. It's a very nice brand. I never actually considered this approach, again, because of the fact that normally the approach which takes you across this part here, very challenging, and normally we do this approach. So the other one we don't really do very often. Look at that, some cable cars there. Incredible stuff. So absolutely recommend this scenery. Really nice. Cool. Guys, thank you so much once again, and we'll play the outro, and again I'll be back in about 5 minutes for the next flight. See you, if you like, on the Cessna 414 on the Norway tour. If not, see you next Tuesday. Stay well, everyone. Good night, and thanks for all the support once again. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, sorry, there was a linking on Matthias. Okay, so let me just check. Hold on. Yes, thanks for flying along. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Hang on, let me just show you guys. Gorgeous. Yeah, thank you much for that. Very nice. Beautiful. GG. Okay, guys, take care. See you soon. Good night.